football today on SportsGrid Super Bowl 60 recap show. Kevin Walsh and Joe Lisi with you for the next hour, taking a look at just how the Seattle Seahawks became your Super Bowl champions. A 29-13 victory over the New England Patriots. They cover. Game stays under despite quite the late surge. Joe, there is so much for us to get through with this game. Your opening thought is what?
Well, I mean, Seattle was the clear better team in that matchup, offensively and defensively. I thought the offensive line for Seattle was dominant. Kenneth Walker, well over 120 yards on the ground, MVP performance. And that front seven got after Drake May early and often and just really dictated the tempo. I mean, New England looked like just a deer in the headlights. Offensive line, skill players, the physicality from Seattle just shined through. Boring game, I think, from the viewership perspective. Never really got into a rhythm, game flow. And I just felt like Vrabel and McDaniels, offensive philosophy-wise, we're just happy this game. You're down 6-0. Hey, no big deal. You're down 9-0. Yeah, no problem. You're down 12-0. Hey, guess what? You're down now almost 3 scores, down 19-0. At what point do you want to kick it into gear? And I just felt like their offensive philosophy wasn't aggressive enough, and that's why they got dominated in this matchup.
Yeah, there's so many different ways we can take this one, but I'll start on the positive side, which is a Seattle Seahawks team that I really didn't believe in until, I guess, mid-third quarter. I probably tapped out on thinking the Pats come back.
Hey, this is a good team.
You know what, guys? This team's all right. You know what? I'm not too scared to say it. What's interesting is so much of my unwillingness to say, oh, they're the best team or they're one of the 2 best teams was probably tied to Sam Darnold. And what they did in this game is something that they have done a number of other times. Hey, Sam, don't lose us the game. We'll handle the rest. And that's what happened here.
Yeah.
I know that's going to sound like a backhanded compliment. It probably is. I'm just trying to give everybody else the credit that they deserve.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the old adage, hey, Super Bowl, the quarterback of the winning team is probably going to win it. You could make a case for about 5 Seahawks before you get to Sam Darnold, right? From Kenneth Walker to a handful of defensive players.
Witherspoon.
I mean, honestly, I'd start listing offensive linemen, I think, before I'd get to Sam Darnold. But it shows that this was a well-balanced, buttoned-up group. And defensively, they brought it. And it's something that you talk about a lot, Joe, which is a willingness to, I think, kind of shift with how the game is going. And that's what I think we saw from Kubiak in this offense.
Yeah.
I truly, truly believe they were willing to let Darnold be great in the game, right? They came out early in this game, a willingness to throw, right? The 15 yards to Barner, the 23-yard beautiful down the sideline to Cooper Kupp that we saw, right? They, I think as the game went on, realized something that I often said New England understood in their AFC run. Ooh, our opponent not going to be much of a test here. We only lose if we give this game away, so we're not going to let Darnold give this game away. And I think things became a bit more conservative on the Seattle offensive side. That's how I felt. And ultimately, maybe the biggest gap in this game, which something thought was actually an advantage New England's way, Mike Macdonald, the much better coach in this game than Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and we talked about it in the pregame, that if JSN was going to have 27 yards, I didn't think they would win by margin, right? I didn't think they would win at all. And they dominated this game because they rushed for 4.4 yards per carry. Mm-hmm. When Kenneth Walker basically has 80 yards in the first half for the most part, and you say to yourself, hey, they can't stop the run. Why break it? You know what I mean? Why try and fix it at that particular time? They couldn't stop the run. And at the point of attack, they were getting 4 and 5 yards. They were staying in manageable third down situations. And Vrabel's take was, hey, we're holding them to field goals and not touchdowns. That's great, Mike.
Yep.
But you can't convert on third down. Your quarterback is a deer in the headlights. Your offensive line can't run the football and open up holes. And you're going to get blown out if you continue to play this style of offense. And we gave, or the gurus gave McDaniels has been in the Super Bowl before. He stepped up. Vrabel won 3 as a player. He knows what to do. They were completely outcoached on both sides of the ball. I mean, and, you could call it what it was, but Seattle was content running the football, taking what the New England gave them.
Yeah.
And then when they seized the opportunity, they took the deep shot to Barner and scored. The defense added another one, and then it's signed, sealed, and delivered, right? Almost 30 points in that matchup. Their quarterback didn't have to be great because the offense and defensive lines did exactly what they had to do. And New England was complacent and just thought somehow, some way, they were going to pull a rabbit out of a hat in the fourth quarter.
And I actually think we got to a point where Mike Vrabel essentially stopped doing his job, in my opinion. It's as if he, in-game, demoted himself to the defensive coordinator. I coach defense. I don't want to hear about anything else here. We talked about a decision on a 4th and 1 at the 41-yard line.
To punt.
Guy, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing? Like, it's 12-0, but it's middle third quarter. It's not like the opponent starts in field goal, right? I mean, that's a 58-yarder. I don't know if they're kicking that field goal, right? And even if you give up a field goal, what's the difference? You're down 2 touchdowns to down 2 touchdowns, right? Go make a play, no confidence.
Right.
You finally, right after going down 19-0, somebody, hey, Drake, why don't we throw some deep shots? And admittedly, May does throw the 2 best passes of the game consecutively to Matt Collins. Again, Vrabel, asleep at the wheel? Too busy celebrating? I don't understand. How did you kick an extra point to stay down 12? A 2-point conversion gets you the chance to cut that to 11, which now makes it possibly a touchdown and a field goal to get you tied in this football. It's one of the most layup decisions. It was such an obvious decision. I was like, am I missing something? Because it didn't seem like anybody needed to be any level of advance to understand that was a clear go for 2. Vrabel, it's like he quit. I don't know if I've ever seen a coach quit. He was like, I'm just not going to make decisions anymore.
Well, that's the problem. And I told you on the pregame, they couldn't go into this game doing what they did in the previous 3 games because they would be up against it, right? So what do? They want to establish the run. They have Ramondre.
Yeah.
He gets going to midfield. All of a sudden, the drive stalls. They get the ball again, 3 and out. And all of a sudden now they're starting to lose the field position battle. And on top of that, they're starting to give up points. But he's not concerned. There's no sense of urgency. And when we talked about, and this was the concern, Drake May playing from behind where they become one-dimensional, where he didn't look like he was in rhythm at all. And where is the guru, Josh McDaniels, saying, you know what, we're going to create rhythm. We're going to maybe run up tempo.
Sure.
Let's run hurry up. Let's try and move the football where they can't substitute. There was no offensive ingenuity in this game whatsoever. They had 2 weeks to break tendency. They didn't do anything.
No tempo. Hey, 5-yard in route, Henry. 5-yard in route, Diggs. Let's see something here.
Yeah,
hey,
nothing.
You know what? 3rd and 1. They're barreling down on our running backs. Drake, keep it.
Right.
Hit the edge.
Do
pick
something.
up the yard. The best thing we've got. Nothing. They just. And by the way, that's your NFL Coach of the Year and your NFL Assistant Coach of the Year. And the cherry on top is Drake May was a vote away from giving that a clean sweep with a league MVP. So the schedule. 1, that's going to stick. And 2, we're going to get into it. But I think we focus a little bit more on the Seattle side of this game. How this team did it, their road to becoming Super Bowl champs, and the lessons that we learned from this Seahawks team. Next, right here on Pro Football Today.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Can USA overtake Canada and get that gold, Joe?
Absolutely, they can here. And ultimately, it feels like that is the two-horse race. And I think ultimately, Canadians don't really care if their team competes in the luge or the bobsled, Donnie, or anything else. They just want that gold when it comes to ice hockey. And that is the only thing that's going to matter there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They cheated.
No, they're not saying
Right?
that. Well, they're not, but they're not really giving a reason on Kraft.
The only two of the voters I've seen, maybe it's more, came out and said why they didn't vote for him. And they said, I'm limited to 3 votes.
Yeah.
And I will always pick a player over a coach or an owner.
Right.
By the way, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy saying, I'm not afraid of you knowing who I picked. I'm going to tell you why I picked him.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
But I will say, at 4.5 and over, I've been with covers for 20 plus years now. I've been betting for a long time. When it comes to 4 and 4.5 point spreads, if I'm looking at the favorite, I do not lay the points. I go straight to the money line, knowing that it's minus 200. This has been a no man's land for football betting in the NFL, basically since 2015, since they moved the point after touchdown back.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today back here on SportsGrid, and a part of our recap show will be taking a peek at next year's Super Bowl odds. And what you will see at the top of those boards are the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I actually think that's a little silly. I would gladly be the book that takes the 10-1, Seattle number. We're the biggest in town. It's very, very difficult to repeat as Super Bowl champions, and I'm not sure this Seahawks team is built to do that. With that said, I think that the Seattle Seahawks have now set themselves up to be a part of the conversation for a very long time. Because we will today, tomorrow, and for time to come likely debate Sam Darnold's status within this league. That is just how I think this likely sets up. But Mike Macdonald's status is a completely different debate. It's is he the first, second, or third best coach in football? If you are partial to the offensive side of the ball, you might want to move Macdonald down, though Macdonald, even if his side of the ball wasn't the better in each game, knocking off Shanahan and McVay, and then the reigning coach of the year in Vrabel to get here, he certainly makes a case that he's the best coach in football. And he's not even 40 yet. And what we know is if you do have a great coach, heck, even if you have a really good coach, you have a very high floor. We've wondered, is Tomlin still great? Is he elite? What we knew, though, is just having Mike Tomlin, basically the Steelers started every year at 8 wins, right? Seattle now, Joe, I think can look up and down their roster, their building, and be confident in that head coach more than anything else, as much as any team in football is confident in anything. And it makes them now set up to be a part of the conversation for potentially a decade.
Yeah, absolutely. And 29 straight games without a 100-yard rusher, right? I mean, that's just a testament to his defensive scheme, his philosophy, and basically how they've constructed this team, right? I mean, all the players involved, they draft Zach Charbonnet or Charbonnet was there, how they utilized him and Kenneth Walker. They got rid of DK Metcalf. You can make the argument he was the best wide receiver at that time on the roster. He really hasn't lived up to expectations, right? And JSN emerges into this leading wide receiver with over 1,700 yards, right? Defensively, DeMarcus Lawrence and the scheme, Witherspoon and how he utilizes blitz packages and how he gets pressure, and just how difficult they were to just basically game plan for, because it's what we said about Belichick and the Patriots, right? Back in the day, they were that chameleon. They could play a high-scoring game. They could play a low-scoring game. You want a first team to 50, hey, we could play like that, right? And that was the NFC Championship game. You want to go toe-to-toe, we'll do it. You want to play a grind-out type of game? That's what we got in Super Bowl 60. We'll rush it right down your throat. And so that is very difficult for coaches, even like Vrabel, because they're cookie cutter. We have an identity. This is what got us here. And McDonald and I think Kubiak have shown up until this point that, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to win the game. And I think he's one of the top 3 coaches, and he's proved that with that dominating effort. And again, I wasn't maybe as high on him. He's an under-the-radar guy up until this point, but he's just led by example.
I think the thing for McDonald is
he doesn't get as much clout as the other guys.
But that's done. I'm telling
you. Now it's all
that's done.
But can you agree with that? Even though we won the championship game, it's like they just started to buy into McDonald?
I mean, the fact of the matter is he didn't really get much consideration for Coach of the Year until they clinched the 1 seed. Like, he was just, they were like, oh, it's Vrabel by a mile. And then like, hey, maybe Ben Johnson, anyone Ben Johnson? And then, never mind, Mike. It's like, okay, that's odd. I always thought that was odd. We talked about that in real time. But sometimes, and this is, check that box, the LeBron guy in me, sometimes we also learn a lot of, hey, what happens when you leave, right? That Ravens defense has been a disaster since he's been gone. It has been.
Yeah.
Right? So what I think there can be hesitation just the way today's league is set up. I think there's always some hesitation tied to hiring a defensive guy because the quarterback position is always so important. Is your quarterback going to be in disarray if you move off of offensive coordinators? But we're also seeing, Joe, defenses dominate. Last year's Philadelphia Eagles, over the course of the season, it was the defense that was the best in football. The run game was the best in football, right? But the offense wasn't the best. That defense was what carried the day, right? A lot of people have been talking about how the Texans are probably sick to their stomach watching that game. Heck, even Denver has to be sick to their stomach, right? Because so often it's, hey, do you have the quarterback? And that's not a part of it. Do you have one of the 5 best defenses in the league? Well, maybe then you could also go on a Super Bowl run, and we should now reasonably expect the McDonald defenses can go up and down, but top 10 every year?
Yeah.
I don't think that's unfair.
No, and think about, again, how they constructed the team. Inside out, right? I mean, because the interior line play was dominant, and it was dominant protecting Sam Darnold as well, protected him against L.A. They protected him in big matchups. They were able to run the football. The one thing when you talk about playoff runs and you talk about Super Bowl championships, the one thing that travels well is what? Defense, bring your lunch pail and run the football. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they did in this game. Now, again, well, do I think that they could be a dynasty in today's landscape like we've seen? Yeah, they can. They can because of how he's schemed and how he's coached up. I don't want to say marginal talent, but when you looked at this roster, were we in awe offensively? Like, hey.
So that's a conversation to me with Vic. I'm just telling you, you'll love this, but you'll know this is true. My preseason notes.
Right.
The last line, it's so dumb. I know. If Jalen Milroe was the quarterback, I would be betting this team.
Right.
Because I just love Milroe,
right.
But the offense, there were so many questions, right?
Yeah.
That's a Kubiak Vegas thing. But Joe, defensive, this is what I will say: this defense being this good, I mean, a little bit, but like, no, I didn't think this was anything other than one of the 5 best defenses in football.
Let me ask you, his effort defensively, does it expose Harbaugh a little bit, John? I'm just saying. Good conversation.
Oh, yeah, right up my alley. We'll be right back. Wow.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Can USA overtake Canada and get that gold, Joe?
Absolutely, they can here. And ultimately, it feels like that is the two-horse race. And I think ultimately, Canadians don't really care if their team competes in the luge or the bobsled, Donnie, or anything else. They just want that gold when it comes to ice hockey. And that is the only thing that's going to matter there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They cheated.
No, they're not saying
Right?
that. Well, they're not, but they're not really giving a reason on crap.
The only two of the voters I've seen, maybe it's more, came out and said why they didn't vote for him. And they said, I'm limited to 3 votes.
Yeah.
And I will always pick a player over a coach or an owner.
Right.
By the way, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy saying, I'm not afraid of you knowing who I picked. I'm going to tell you why I picked him.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
But I will say at 4.5 and over, I've been with covers for 20 plus years now. I've been betting for a long time. When it comes to 4 and 4.5 point spreads, if I'm looking at the favorite, I do not lay the points. I go straight to the money line, knowing that it's minus 200. This has been a no man's land for football betting in the NFL, basically since 2015, since they moved the point after touchdown back.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pro football today on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi. Lisi, what a great take. And one I think we'll explore a little bit more throughout our offseason of McDonald's success relative to the Harbaugh hire. It's up my alley, I'll say that much. I want to, though, bring Darnold into this conversation about kind of the requirements and where he lands amongst the quarterbacks of, within this league. And I told you this before the game. Darnold solidified himself as the franchise quarterback for the Seahawks. And obviously that doesn't change after winning the game. But I think we can be realistic. He wasn't the reason that they won that game.
That's why Kenneth Walker won the MVP.
Correct. And it's why the other considerations were all defensive players, right? If you factor in what I think of Darnold, and what a lot of other people think about Jalen Hurts, okay? I think what we are seeing right now is you need a quarterback that you can win with, right? Is capable of a big game, right? A big performance, doesn't cost you games left and right. You do not need a quarterback that is the only reason you win. We got accustomed to early Mahomes. It's like, it's the greatest thing we've ever seen, right? Everyone latches on to Josh Allen. It's like, this team would win 2 games if Josh wasn't there. Hey, that might not be the recipe, guys. What we need is to not just rank quarterbacks and then apply those rankings into our Super Bowl predictions. What we need to do is evaluate full rosters, full coaching staffs, trenches, and understand that a quarterback is a piece of the puzzle, in some instances is the driving force, right? But it's not. It's just not the end-all, be-all if you're built the right way.
No, not at all. But again, that's the way you can make the argument Seattle won it the way Belichick won it with those defensive performances. Yes, he had Brady, but think about the performance against Kurt Warner in the first game. What was it? 20, it was a 3-point game, 17-14. Run the football consistently, win the turnover battle, win the defensive trenches, and most likely you'll be in it. Shorten the game if you don't have an explosive offense and try to steal it in the fourth quarter. You could do that when you have the type of talent that Seattle has. But you also have a quarterback in Sam Darnold that, and I'm not going to say I agree with this, but let me just throw it out. I think to your point about Jalen Hurts and Sam Darnold, right? Now, after this season, I think the perception is, Darnold is still capable of having the game, like based off of what we saw, the 346, which I still think Jalen can have the game, but I think the perception is Sam Darnold's completely surpassed Jalen Hurts in quarterbacking a football team.
Let's be very clear.
Would you agree with that?
The rankings that will be coming out, you will see primarily Sam Darnold in front of Jalen Hurts. And that is obviously, in my eyes, ridiculous. And here's what I don't understand, right? As someone who's high on Jalen Hurts, I was told, hey, just because they won a game, look at what's around him. We don't have to shoot him up all super high off the rankings. And those same people will likely be the people who run Darnold to the top of their lists, right? What I don't understand, though, is did Darnold have a better year this year than Hurts? Obviously. Has Darnold had a better 2 years than Jalen Hurts? No, not even close. One of them won a Super Bowl MVP. The other one didn't. So it's pretty easy. Like, Darnold did not have a better 2 years. 1 year they each got eliminated in the first round. The other year they won the Super Bowl, except one of them won the Super Bowl MVP. They were both brilliant in the conference championship games. Like, that's just what it is. But that's how the rankings are going to go. But I will tell you this right now. What is going to happen, because we're going to get into Drake May next. Almost everyone's quarterback rankings will be filled with hypocrisy. Because people are going to want to shoot Darnold up, and it's going to be like, hey, the winning matters. Great. Why is Jalen 14th?
Right.
If the winning matters, why am I looking at Dak in front of him? I can't figure this out anymore.
Well, again, that's the problem when we assess quarterbacks. Are we looking physical attributes? Are we
Right.
Because, again, what's taken away from Jalen is the rushing attributes that he brings to the table, right? And when you look at the Super Bowl performance, and you look at 2 years ago when he lost to Pat Mahomes and he rushes for three touchdowns and it counts for 4, we don't put that into perspective. It's just, what have you done for me lately? And that's the problem when we break these quarterbacks down.
And listen, the recency bias is always a part of the conversation. No doubt about it. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how that applies to Drake May and his class. We'll talk about that next.
Aaron Judge, no stranger to hitting 60 home runs in a season, but we certainly aren't going to put a FanDuel win total or even DraftKings at 60. So Sam, our producer, set it at 55. Aaron Judge will hit 55-plus home runs this year. You going to buy or sell?
All right, Aaron Rodgers here.
Oh, there
Aaron,
he is.
What do you think? What do you think, Aaron? Can you hit 55? Aaron Judge, right? Got it in my head here. 55 is asking a lot, Sam. It's asking a lot. He hit 53 last year, 58 the year before, 37, but that was the year he hurt his toe in Dodger Stadium, and then, of course, 62. I got to sell this. All right, you're asking for just to be 7 home runs off the record? I mean, no, we can't keep doing this every year here. Plus, he does have an injury history there. Over the last 2 years, he's been completely healthy. I'll just say no. Between possibility of an injury, teams waking up and going, nope, not pitching to him, I'll take the under here. Although, as a Yankee fan, he better. He better, because if he don't, Yankees going to be in a lot of trouble.
So I've decided to go by the letter of the law. Sam is not going to like this. Sam is not going to like my answer. Yep. Sam, listen. Sam leaves these little loopholes in the buy or sell. 55 home runs between 55 plus the regular season, postseason, World Baseball Classic. Buy. Spring training. Buy. Above 55. Between spring training, World Baseball Classic, regular season, and postseason, Aaron Judge will hit 55 home runs. He didn't say this season. He didn't say this season. He said this year. The graphic says this year.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Time to talk about the schedule. Also known as Drake May. Easily the best nickname in recent sports history. I think it should stick. I think it's funny, harmless. I think he can kind of shed it. Heck, I think he can turn it into a cool thing. But for now, the schedule is the schedule. I want to let me ask you, okay? How much did your perception of this Patriots team drop after yesterday?
I said they had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a good run based off of just, certain challenges. I think you and I are both in the camp that if Bo Nix started that game for Denver, I think Bo Nix pulls it out. I think Denver's in the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
And I think we have a much better game than what we got in Super Bowl 60. That being said, I just think that they were over-exceeding expectations, and they finally got exposed from an offensive perspective. And what I mean by that is, look, you look at their wide receivers. Booty, he went to LSU, but he's not elite. Stephon Diggs is not the same guy that he was when he was with Minnesota, obviously, and with Josh.
Yeah.
Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, Hooper. They're not wowing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Henry's good. He's not Brock Bowers or Trey McBride.
Sure.
All right. So my point is, they went up against an elite defense and an elite secondary that unless you have cats that can fly, like Puka and like Devontae and like speedy guys, you're not going to expose them. Think about the games that they struggled. Hang on. They gave up 38 points to Baker.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Godwin, McMillan. I mean, they got guys that can run.
Yep.
I think put Caleb the way he was playing at the end of the year against Seattle, they put up points. I'm just saying,
but
teams that throw vertical. Drake May was doing it against teams that were giving up a lot of yards.
But this is the thing, right? So the bright spot for New England is how much we look at and go, oh, the roster can be better, right?
Could
because
be
they
much
don't
better.
have all. It's not littered with all pros.
No.
I think it's part of why Drake May. I know last night was like a Stafford voter victory lap session. I get it, but I actually think like some of the Drake May MVP stuff is even seen within the game, kind of like.
Right.
So who's he supposed to go to? Who am I supposed to throw the ball to? Hey, I'm in a bind. Throw it to him 16 times. Who? Right? That doesn't exist on this team. But the thing is, going into the game, going into all of these games, we knew who the running backs were. We knew who the wide receivers were. Now, you were on Seattle. You were right. So for me, as someone who said, yes, the schedule was a joke. Yes, the AFC path set up well for them. I was steadfast that they would have lost to Bo Nix, and that should have stuck with me more. I shouldn't have bypassed that so easily. And I think the reality is this team having this season, when we go credit pie, the schedule is the winner.
Right, but yes, the schedule is the winner. You're right.
This team doesn't win. If they play the hardest schedule in football, they don't win.
But that's what takes an elite head coach, right? And I'm not taking away from Vrabel. But, it's almost like, hey, why win games 40-20 when we could lose them 29-13?
But I don't think the problem, Joe, was mentality.
No,
I
think
they
Vrabel
had an offense. They had an offense that finished the season, okay? Number 1 in EPA.
Right.
Who played 4 very good defenses. And they looked like one of the worst offenses in football.
Correct. And that's
you can't chalk that up to anything other than, you played bad defenses all year.
Okay, you're right. And yes, the teams that they rolled against statistically were good defenses. Obviously, Denver, right, and they only scored 10 points. And a lot of people put that on the snow and the weather conditions.
Sure.
But it's up to Vrabel, right? When you're watching this game unfold and knowing, hey, our offense is not going to be effective. I knew it a quarter in watching this game. So that's up to Vrabel to go, hey, Josh, let's go. Change it up. Things are, we're not going to win this type of game. The writing's on the wall. We need a sense of urgency. Drake Mays, run the football 2 yards. 3rd and 8, sack. 3rd and 8, incompletion. 3rd and 9. I mean, 3rd downs were a problem for their offense throughout the playoffs.
I think what's interesting, one of the quotes I heard from Drake kind of post-game is like, I wish I could just do it all over. I feel a little bit, Joe, it's a college basketball take of mine, where I actually think like the idea of going unbeaten is very dangerous and you're better off losing a game or two and learning from it. It feels as if this New England team just kept buying their own press clippings and never learned, like, oh, you know what? Maybe us, like, throttling down and just being like, oh, our opponents stink isn't good for you, right? Like, maybe you're not learning the appropriate lessons throughout this season. So I think what that – you can't say, oh, Vrabel's a bad coach because he took advantage of a soft schedule and was in the Super Bowl. That's not the point.
No.
But it's – for someone who was on New England, right, we're thinking about the Patriots moving forward. To now, I think we got closure. Was this team largely a product of their schedule and path?
Yes.
I think the answer to that is yes. And here's then where it starts to trickle into their star quarterback. Do I think Drake May is incredibly talented? Yes, I really believe the back-to-back throws to Matt Collins were the 2 best throws in the game. I really believe that. Drake May might be the first quarterback of all time to play 4 postseason games, and we go, I don't know if he can play well in a big game. I have no idea if he can play well in a big game. He didn't play well in any of the games.
No, he ran for more than he passed. I mean, he had better success on the ground, 37 yards. He got through his total, didn't he? 36.
Right, I mean, the number just kept flying up.
But my point is, and that was when we broke it down. I said, throughout the playoffs, you did not want to have Drake May trailing in this game, having to answer those questions. Mm-hmm. You had to be aggressive early on to erase any negativity or any question marks. Well, put it this way. If they would run tempo right from the get-go, and he threw a pick, all right, it's okay. You can make up for it. Mm-hmm. We didn't get to see that until they were down 19-0.
Right.
Is that what you really wanted, Mike? Like, I mean, that was the problem. When you devised this game plan and you said, okay, we're going to try and run it down their throat. We're going to try and out-physical the most physical defense that we saw. Hey, guys, it's not working. We're 8 minutes in and we're getting thrown around like rag dolls. Okay, at what point do you make an honest assessment and say, we have to make an in-game adjustment and really challenge it? They didn't do that.
But I guess what I'm saying, no, you're not wrong. But what's interesting is, I'm going to use Justin Herbert for an example, okay?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, we know, is very talented. So far, atrocious postseason resume.
Right. Yep.
Drake May.
Similar.
Yeah. I know he played in the Super Bowl.
Performance-wise.
Yes.
Obviously not the wins because,
no, the wins are the wins are the wins, but we don't have to be zombies about this.
No.
Right? Our job, okay, if you want to be smarter about this stuff, the reason ideally you watch, we sit here at the desk, is not to come in and go, Seattle wins 29-13, Drake May played in the Super Bowl, no, it's how did it look? What did we learn? And from Drake May's 4 playoff games, you could argue from the game against Buffalo at home up 21-0 with a chance to clinch the division, we learned the guy that you on draft night said didn't win a big one at North Carolina still hasn't won a big one in the NFL.
And it goes back to what I said about him in the pregame. I said he's had a great season.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on him being an elite quarterback. I'm not. And again, it's the same. Herbert is answering the same questions. The difference is Drake May has wins in the playoffs and Herbert doesn't.
But so performance-wise, it's a very similar boat.
It is.
And it's why, as we zoom back and we try and evaluate quarterbacks in this league, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels each have better postseason performances under their belt than Drake May.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting. Drake's better than Caleb. He made a Super Bowl. Like, you want to do playoff stuff? You want to do playoff stuff with Jaden? I'm not sure that's the case.
Right.
We'll talk more about all of it right here on Pro Football Today.
Aaron Judge, no stranger to hitting 60 home runs in a season, but we certainly aren't going to put a FanDuel win total or even DraftKings at 60. So Sam, our producer, set it at 55. Aaron Judge will hit 55 plus home runs this year. You going to buy or sell?
All right, Aaron Rodgers here.
Oh, there
Aaron,
he is.
What do you think? What do you think, Aaron? Can you hit 55? Aaron Judge, right? Got it in my head here. 55 is asking a lot, Sam. It's asking a lot. He hit 53 last year, 58 the year before, 37, but that was the year he hurt his toe in Dodger Stadium, and then of course 62. I gotta sell this. All right, you're asking for just to be 7 home runs off the record. I mean, no, we can't keep doing this every year here. Plus, he does have an injury history there. Over the last 2 years, he's been completely healthy. I'll just say no. Between possibility of an injury, teams waking up and going, nope, not pitching to him. I'll take the under here. Although as a Yankee fan, he better, because if he don't, Yankees gonna be in a lot of trouble.
So I've decided to go by the letter of the law. Sam is not going to like this. Sam is not going to like my answer. Yep. Sam, listen. Sam leaves these little loopholes in the buy or sell. 55 home runs between 55 plus the regular season, postseason, World Baseball Classic. Buy. Spring training. Buy. Above 55 between spring training, World Baseball Classic, regular season, and postseason. Aaron Judge will hit 55 home runs.
Such a lawyer in another life.
He didn't say this season. He said this year. The graphic says this year.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today, back right here on SportsGrid. So we're looking at the Seahawks and the Patriots in, ironically, we almost got the caliber of game we assumed we would have been given if Denver made it with Stidham. Like when you kind of look at the final tally. What?
No, I mean, I think, look, Stidham wasn't great, but I think with 2 weeks to prepare, Sean Payton going up, and they have wideouts that can fly.
Can we talk
it would have been
betting
a better
the
game.
Super Bowl for a second?
Sure.
It's the second year in a row where, look, we're always going to bet these pregame, right? But you go halftime. What do I do? Right? Or even, hey, third quarter. What do I do? Well, there's a talented quarterback getting smashed. Eventually, they're just going to throw it all over. Happened with Mahomes last year, and Drake May this year. And I am not in any vein attempting to say that is an easy thing, and you have to get into that situation. But by the end of it, you look at it and you go, Drake May threw for 295, 27 completions, multiple touchdown passes. How did that happen? It's like, he just played garbage time.
Yeah.
He just played garbage time. From an in-game perspective, I told you there are a number of games, even in the regular season, right? You know this. You give a best bet out. We're sitting there. It's the first half. It's 6-3. And then you're tweeting out, hey, guys, thanks for tailing. See you next week. The winner comes. We've seen these second halves explode, right? Like
30 points in the fourth quarter.
We see sometimes the Super Bowl's a little bit different, Joe, because you still keep getting great effort the whole way. Where, like team week 11, quit, whatever. See you next week. You keep getting effort. So I think one of the lessons for me is if the blowout starts to spiral, make sure you've saved yourself some bullets in that chamber for live opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it play out, and you're watching the game, and again, they finally kicked it into gear down 19-0. They went right down the field. They score.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, they had the football back. If if he doesn't throw the pick and they cut it to 19-14, game on, right? Anything is possible at that particular time. He throws the critical interception that allows them to go up even by 2 scores. It was 22 to 7 at that point. But again, I mean, nobody wants to have their worst performance in a Super Bowl, right? Meaning, you're getting blown out. You got to show some heart. You don't want to just lay up and die, So, and that's but that's what I'm saying. That's what you had play out. I mean, we even saw it on the last play of the game. Travion Henderson, look at the score.
Kid, get out of bounds.
I mean,
get me another play. You got to be kidding me with this guy.
He wanted his total yesterday.
You want to put a pin in something? Travion Henderson has completely salvaged all fantasy outlook for next year.
Yeah.
He was the starting running back in the second half of the game. He took the job right back. I
told you were ready to anoint Ramondre Stevenson.
You know how many carries Ramondre had in the second half?
None.
Correct?
Yeah, he caught the touchdown.
Zero carries.
Yeah.
By the way, it was 9-0 at half.
Yeah.
I don't really understand where they went, oh, you know what we'll never do? Give the ball to Ramondre again. I don't know. Huh? What was that?
Let's play let's show the identity that got us here.
We're
gonna run it.
They went in the locker room. They said, "What's wrong, Ramondre? Everything else will be fine."
I told you he stunk.
Yeah, turns out. So here's another thing, and I don't want to wildly overreact to it, but we talk about the touchdown scores. And gosh, man, sometimes these big names are poison.
Throughout the playoffs, the number ones have been terrible. I mean, look, Diggs with 37.
Stevenson is by far the shortest guy to come in, third best.
Yeah.
Barner was probably around that 5 or 6 range.
I mean, Cup and Hollins led both teams respectively. Hollins was, 20-1 shot to lead all receivers? I mean, just think about that for a second. JSN, I mean, non-existent, gets injured. He comes back, doesn't score a touchdown. Now you can make the argument if Darnold hits him on that wide open play in the first quarter, he probably blows right through his total, and who knows what we have at that particular time. Gonzalez makes the great play on the Shaheed bomb, right?
Yeah.
So anything's possible, but throughout the playoffs, the number ones were not that great. I mean, obviously certain games, the NFC Championship,
I
but
just think
overall they weren't.
There are certain things I am a believer in. It's never that easy, right? Often going into some games, right? People a lot of times will show me a parlay, go, hey, what loses? I don't know. It all looks great. I don't know. I can't tell you, right? But that's just sometimes the sport of it all. Like, I'll tell you one of the interesting things, though, that I did disagree with. And I think I can get you on my side at the end of the conversation. Hey, JSN had 4 for 27. Doesn't that mean Seattle got killed? Not at all. Means they covered alts. JSN, if they get destroyed, has 150 yards. At least 90, right? If he does nothing, it's because the game was nothing. It was a fake game where Darnold didn't have to do anything. Now, again, they don't really offer us a lot of alt-unders, but the zag of it all, Lisi, is... Yeah, Darnold didn't have to throw. That does track.
They were running, Kev, 5 yards a carry with Kenneth Walker.
I know.
He looked like he was back in Michigan State.
He did look very good.
I mean, it looked like he was playing Michigan in that one game back in 2018. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Shaheed got the carry, -5. That wasn't,
was waiting for a Cam Akers showing. Terrible.
I could hear your screams
and then
through
they
activated
him. That's great. They couldn't wait to say we activated Cam Akers.
I will say,
Kalani was running the rock. I mean,
before we get to next year's Super Bowl odds, I'm pretty sure next year's Super Bowl, I'll basically just be spending the entire time capping total players to catch a reception market.
Is that your best?
Over 6.5 Patriots. 9 of them came in.
Yeah.
I mean, not bad.
No.
Pretty great, I would argue.
Fantastic.
I mean, if you wouldn't be, I mean, listen, hey, there you go. So, all right, we got one of them. Thanks. Thanks for that. I'll tell you this Jake Bobo, did he get off the bus?
No. No. They bad injury report for somebody. Broke his hand in the NFC Championship.
Celebrating. All right, let's take a look at next year's Super Bowl odds right here on Pro Football Today.
Aaron Judge, no stranger to hitting 60 home runs in a season, but we certainly aren't going to put a FanDuel win total or even DraftKings at 60. So Sam, our producer, set it at 55. Aaron Judge will hit 55-plus home runs this year. You going to buy or sell?
All right, Aaron Rodgers here.
Oh, there
Aaron,
he is.
What do you think? What do you think, Aaron? Can you hit 55? Aaron Judge, right? I got it in my head here. 55 is asking a lot, Sam. It's asking a lot. He hit 53 last year, 58 the year before, 37, but that was the year he hurt his toe in Dodger Stadium, and then, of course, 62. I got to sell this. All right, you're asking for just to be 7 home runs off the record? I mean, no, we can't keep doing this every year here. Plus, he does have an injury history there. Over the last 2 years, he's been completely healthy. I'll just say no. Between possibility of an injury, teams waking up and going, nope, not pitching to him. I'll take the under here. Although, as a Yankee fan, he better. He better, because if he don't, Yankees going to be in a lot of trouble.
So I've decided to go by the letter of the law. Sam is not going to like this. Sam is not going to like my answer. Yep. Sam, listen, Sam leaves these little loopholes in the buy or sell. 55 home runs between 55 plus the regular season, postseason, World Baseball Classic, buy. Spring training, buy. Above 55 between spring training, World Baseball Classic, regular season, and postseason. Aaron Judge will hit 55 home runs. He didn't say this season. He didn't say this season. He said this year. The graphic says this year.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Pro football today. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi. Super Bowl odds, 26-27.
Josh Allen train, Joe Brady, 11-1. Huh?
Nah, come on.
No?
Would you? Let me just ask you this, right? Is there any world where you would actually say, you know what, that number's so wild, I got to bet it here today, February? Like, if I gave you 40-1 on Buffalo, you betting it today?
No. Eagles, yes.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
What?
That's who catches your eye? Philly? No. I thought we shook you. Didn't we shake you with that game against the Niners?
I like what they have. Where's Denver's total? I don't see. Where's Denver?
Where's Denver? Denver's around 20-1.
Not bad. I like Bo Nix. Look. He has just showed me something again. I like his comeback ability. I like Peyton in this situation. I like the young weapons that they have. I want to see obviously how they draft. But Denver at 20-1 would have me interested.
That's your high-end team that you would be interested in, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but not Philly too much. And
I'll buy in. I want to see what Washington does to surround Jaden. But Caleb, what's their number?
So
what's the Bears'
this
number?
Is interesting for a second.
All right, what's the Bears?
Drake May in New England 17-1.
Yeah.
Caleb and the Bears are 27-1.
Like it.
And Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are 45-1.
The only thing with the 45-1 is, I love Jaden. He's injury prone last year, and what are you going to put around him?
So I think
Zach Ertz is coming off an ACL. I mean, they need multiple
they're
weapons.
Need to do a lot more, but they have a top 8 draft pick.
I understand, but my point is they need multiple weapons.
Yeah,
multiple.
But even though we talk about, hey, this isn't all just decided through the quarterback lens, I think Jaden Daniels could still be seen as one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. So getting a top 10 quarterback at nearly 50-1 to win a Super Bowl, that's interesting to me. I think that is interesting. I'm not sure that he should be that far back from his counterparts in that draft class. I'll say this, and you're not going to like it, but are we sure that Kansas City should have 8 teams booked with the same or shorter odds than them?
I'm not.
But Kansas City, I mean,
but let me
we know they're going to we know. Now, the Mahomes off the ACL is why I would never bet it, right here, right now. But we would expect that roster to improve in the offseason. Top 10 draft pick. That's going to go a long way.
Yeah.
Team usually drafts well.
I mean, Josh, with Brady, you would think the 11.
Too short, though, right?
All right,
Let's
but let
be
me
honest.
ask you this. When you talk about the Jaden Daniels 45-1, we're not concerned now that Kingsbury's now with McVay?
My biggest concern, I guess the roster's a concern. I'm worried that betting Jaden Daniels could become a bit like betting Kawhi Leonard.
Where he never plays?
Yeah, like he gets hurt.
Don't say that.
I can't complain like, I would have had a good shot if he stayed healthy. Like, he's not going to be healthy. I worry about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it's a valuable concern, which is another concern if you want to make the assessment with Jordan Love in Green Bay. I mean, this guy gets knocked off the field, groin, ankle.
That's not.
I'm just saying.
No, that's not. I mean, it's the same thing with Burrow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with Burrow. Can I look? If you said, Kev,
What's the Burrow number?
30.
I mean, we've been in the spot before.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, we bet them at 7-1, 16-1. Now it's 30-1.
But they're losing Hendrickson.
Come on. I mean, the defense stinks anyway.
We don't think Zach Taylor's good. But that's the thing. How many times can we bet a team where we think nothing about it's good other than, the LSU guys?
I don't like Detroit. I'll tell you that. Major concerns.
Can I in any way sell you on Minnesota at 55?
Yes.
You got a
Who's
coaching
the quarterback?
staff that So this is my thing.
Is it McCarthy?
If it is, it means O'Connell thinks he might have a chance to get him somewhere. Because in firing Mensah, they've given themselves the opportunity to cut ties completely.
How about Jacksonville in year 2 with Liam Cohen?
A little short for me.
What is it?
20. Same as Denver and Houston.
But you're going to get a team that has young weapons.
But let me be clear in what I'm saying. Short for me in February. When we are
Tampa's number
50,
I like that.
I'll go. Fine. You're right.
How about Atlanta?
I'd rather 50. No way. No chance. I'd rather 175 New Orleans. I'd rather 175 New Orleans. Top 10 pick. Kellen Moore.
Well, then why don't we just take Cleveland and Shador?
That's not. But okay, they're 125.
Perfect.
I'm getting 175 in New Orleans. They've got a better chance than the Browns, don't they?
Yeah, probably.
No. Just say no.
I mean, maybe Moncton can channel everything.
So you like Cleveland. So you're hot on Cleveland.
Maybe Shador goes back to Boulder.
The February number before we close this that you like the most is what? Right now.
Denver.
Too short. Minnesota. Get involved, folks. Me, Brian Flores, and Justin Jefferson. Pippin! That's what we do here on Pro Football Today. Joe Lisi, Kevin Walsh. We'll see you next time.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Gosh, I really do like the storylines with these open field events. Like, I want us to expand these signature events to bigger fields because I really do like the Joel Damon story, the Andrew Putnam story. It's part of the PGA Tour and what makes it so good. So I don't know where they're going to eventually end up on all of this.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
They cheated.
No, they're not saying
Right?
that. Well, they're not, but they're not really giving a reason on crap.
The only two of the voters I've seen, maybe it's more, came out and said why they didn't vote for him. And they said, I'm limited to 3 votes.
Yeah.
And I will always pick a player over a coach or an owner.
Right.
By the way, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy saying, I'm not afraid of you knowing who I picked. I'm going to tell you why I picked him.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.